Good afternoon, everyone. It is 12:58 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, June 26, 2020. Welcome back. So glad to have you. Just going to wait for some people to come in. But this little show, this little talk we're going to have today is brought to you by BioTrust. Fantastic sponsor, new to the channel. I've been using their stuff for a while now. This is an amazing product. There have been advances in science over the years, and there are super powerful and effective ways to boost your immune system rather than just using mega doses of the same vitamin C that's been around forever. So this combines 4 of the world's best immune supporting powerhouses into one product, Ageless Body. And because we love you guys out there, it's on sale for 51% off right now, and there is also 167% of the daily recommended value of vitamin C in a highly bioavailable form called magnesium ascorbate. You guys can go to agewithtracy.com to get this. agewithtracy.com. Make sure you go support our sponsors who are supporting us. Super important. So craziness as I was just getting ready to come live. Hi everyone. Today I saw this. Gigi, a good friend of mine with Uncover DC, sends me this. Ron DeSantis apparently ordered Bashar. Florida bars can no longer serve alcohol for consumption on premises. Residents across Florida getting their last call. Halsey Bashirs, the secretary of the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, announced on Twitter that on-premises consumption of alcohol has now been suspended at bars across the entire state. The order goes into effect immediately. No Periscope today, just my YouTube fam. And I'm also on CloudHub right now. I'm not going to do a Periscope on this. They see my tweets all day long. Different people, believe it or not, come over here on YouTube than do on Twitter. And, you know, it's a crazy day today. I've had a very crazy day today. I've gotten some negative news, some very positive news. And I'm just feeling a little bit pissy. So here we are. This order is standalone bars, not bars inside of restaurants. It's also unclear if bars will still be allowed to serve alcohol for takeout, which is something that was implemented during the first lockdown. I don't understand why in the hell we are going through this right now. We're going through masks being mandatory in place. I mean, it is really the upside down with some of these states. And of all the states in the world to do this, to have it done in Florida, it's just beyond me. I just want to find this for you. This happened in California. Listen.
For 2 hours, I'm now getting 2 minutes.
John
I'll get right
Ziegler.
to the point. This board is pretending that for the last 3 months, your emperor, Dr. Levin, has not been against a mask declaration. Now, all of a sudden, we're pretending that masks are everything, even forcing speakers to use masks. I would like the board to take a position. Was Dr. Levin wrong for those 3 months? And if he was this wrong, why has he not been removed? Why has he not been fired for being so catastrophically wrong? Or do you not really believe he was wrong? You're just wearing these masks because it is a signal of your great virtue.
Damn.
Because for the last 3 months, we have not worn them, and Ventura County has done outstandingly well and continues to do outstandingly well because we are not Los Angeles, we are not New York City, we never were going to be any of those things. Ironically, this is one of the few things Dr. Levin was actually right about. He has been wrong about everything. He is the one who told us we would have 400 to 600 hospitalizations a day. He revised that to 200 to 400 a day. We still haven't reached that in 1 day. We're barely over 200 for the entire ordeal that you guys have put us through. We now are panicked over 51 total hospitalizations in a county with 8 hospitals. Can you people do math? Can you please do basic math and understand where we are on this? This is not a crisis. You, however, have created one. You, in an effort to try to prevent all death, when we've had 43 deaths, have now ended all relevant life. And you should all be ashamed of yourselves. And this will never be forgotten, ever be forgotten. You will all be held accountable eventually, in this life or the next. You all better hope there is no hell, because when you die, that's where you're going. And guess what? You're not going to be dying of COVID either. Thank you.
This is, hold on. I found the guy. Some replies were hidden by the tweet author. View hidden replies. Careful, he's a tool. Oh, well, there you go. Here's a Florida woman.
We cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people. And we the people are waking up, and we know what citizen's arrest is, because citizen's arrests are already happening, okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity. Every single one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot
so
escape God.
Off. I'm not gonna play the rest of that. It's a little weird here. They're putting here.
At the end, I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
That's great. Oh goodness. So we've got craziness going on. I mean, you don't need me to come on here and tell you things are crazy. It's pretty obvious by looking around. You don't have to go far. There was a story that I saw this morning about how these test numbers are actually high because there's more testing. There was also an NPR interview with Barr, and he did really well and talked about how not everything's political. We talked about this on the podcast today. If you guys want to listen to it, it would be great. Not everything is political. Sometimes things are just justice. The NPR guy kept interrupting him. There are more than 500 investigations into rioting and destruction of statues ongoing. And there have been over 200 people arrested with ties to the domestic terrorist organization Antifa. That means that the conversation that I had with this awesome person today, which I really mean that, I said I'm sort of rolling my eyes at people mocking the president for his answer about what he's going to do if he wins re-election. They're mocking him. And in case anyone hasn't noticed, there's a semi-hot war on American soil right now, and that's kind of one of the priorities, is to stop the Marxists. And I'm seeing, ever since this Tucker monologue yesterday, there's all these doom criers like, oh, he's not doing anything. He's not taking care of anything. He looks weak. This is exactly the problem. We're not fighting back. Listen, stop it. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. I mean, dead serious. It's right out of the playbook. The polls are showing that, people don't trust him. The polls are showing that he's not doing well. People who have been Trump supporters are not understanding the bigger picture here. You let President Trump lose this election because you get into your little pity party attitude. We've got a big problem on our hands. And it's going to be much more than just, oh, he's not sending in the army to take down the protesters. You're going to be on a breadline, okay? Stop it. Stop it. Buck up. Cut it out. See, he's unprepared. He's being let down by his campaign. All this doom crying. Stop it. There is no other choice. Just stop it. You are playing right into their hands. You are doing exactly what they want you to do. Exactly. Stop. Stop whining. Stop complaining. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. We are in the middle of a war. Okay? It is not time for crying in our Cheerios right now. It's not time for putting any stock in the polls. It's time to do everything you can, first of all, to go out and vote, and second of all, to organize in your local communities to stop this BS from happening. People are like, well, why isn't the media reporting on the 200 arrests? Are you serious? Is now all of a sudden you care what the media reports on? You can't have it both ways. Stop it. Shake yourselves out. Shake yourselves off. Cut it out. Just stop. You might as well just hand it to them at this point. For God's sakes, why are you continuing to let these people have power over you? Why are you continuing to let yourselves be, swayed or persuaded or misguided or by people who want to destroy you? You're putting any stock in the media at this point? Really? Well, the media is not reporting. Are you kidding me? Stop. Stop it. We're never going to win this war if we have people giving up just because Tucker Carlson does a monologue that's not friendly to the president. He isn't stopping anything. It's all talk. You're kidding. You just do not have eyes to see. I mean, I'm only one person doing my best to share this information. You need to look for it. You think they're going to tell you? Why do you think they hid all the Peter Strzok stuff that came out and the Joe Biden stuff? That you think these people are going to tell you what President Trump is actually doing to stop Antifa when you have a Jerry Nadler in committee saying that they're imaginary? Stop it. Please. I'm begging of you. Buck up. Put your big boy pants on. Put your big girl pants on. Stop it. Despair, desperation, throwing your hands up in the air. None of that is acceptable right now. We are on a battlefield and we need each and every single one of you to understand that everything that you're doing is prescribed by the people. I said this on the podcast today. I had this long conversation with Frank. Brennan Tatum, which I have this up, I was going to talk about it. Did not expect to go on this rant, by the way, by any stretch of the imagination. Where is it? I had it up. I moved it. Brandon Tatum posted something yesterday. Let me show you. And, another thing real quick while I'm looking for this. The president is one man. The reason why he's limited in what he can do is so that we do not have an authoritarian dictator. Sorry, my brain doesn't work sometimes. In the White House. So we do not have a Joe Biden. So we do not have a Marxist. So we do not have somebody who can dictate to Idaho what is being done in New York. Okay? He is not God. Okay? He's not God. He can't wave a magic wand and stop all of this from happening. And he certainly can't wave a magic wand and stop all of this from happening with people abandoning him while we're on the battlefield. We're on the battlefield right now and people are like, oh, he's just talking. I'm leaving. Give me a break. No. He's not just talking. There's plenty going on right now. Plenty going. Plenty going on right now. So, Brandon Tatum said something last night. If I can find it, he tweets a lot. Let me go back into my... This is here. Hold on. I love you guys too. You're all fantastic and I love you. All of you. Sorry, I'm yelling and ranting and raving. Here we go. He said this. It's time we start fighting back with force. I'm sick of these stupid MFs destroying statues, making up fake hate crimes, disrespecting people, and lying about Trump. I'm sick of it. I've had enough. It's time we fight fire with fire. Enough. Someone said, Brandon, brother, I'm with you 100%, but I'm a white man, and I don't know how to do that without being labeled a racist. I want to do something. A lot of people do. We don't know how. If you led a movement, I'm sure a lot of people would follow. I know I would. And I said to him, number one, stop giving what they call you. Stop giving these people power over you. Stop it. Stop allowing the fear of being called a racist to stop you from defending your homeland, which is being overrun by people like, what's his name, that was on McCallum's show, telling her by any means necessary. I'm going to pull that up too. He's going to take things back in this country by any means necessary. It was on Frank's timeline. You are giving them power. You're giving them power when you fall to the polling numbers that are all freaking fake. You're giving them power when you like, well, why didn't they report this? Obviously, they're not going to report what is going. Of course they're not. This has been 3 years, 4 years now. You guys don't know that? Stop it. Why do you fall back on the legacy media? Like they've ever told you the truth about shit. They've never told you the truth about anything. Ever. I want you to listen to this. Come on. Mm-hmm. Here it is.
Burn it down. It's time. Burn it down. You said burn it down. It's time. So that makes me think that you want to burn it down.
I said if this country doesn't give us what we want, then we will burn down this system and replace it. All right, and I could be speaking figuratively. Okay. I could be speaking literally. It's a matter of interpretation. Like,
burn it down. You said burn it down.
Do those people
It's time.
care? Do those people care what you think? Do they care what you feel? Do they care what they're saying? Do they care they're the antithesis of everything that this country stands for? They don't give a crap. Why do we give them power over us? Why are we giving these people any power? Oh, I don't want to get canceled. I'm afraid of being called a racist. Oh my gosh, the media is not reporting things. We're doomed. Stop it. Stop it. Decide to do things differently. Decide to do things differently. You know, every one of us gets lost sometimes trying to figure out what the F is going on in this country right now, because God help me, I can't tell you. I can tell you. There are Marxists trying to overthrow our country right now. That's what's going on. And they're on the ground, here, homegrown, being funded by the Democrat Party. Straight up. Probably some Republican money in there too. Who knows? The war is not going to be completely fought on social media, probably not even 10% of the way. People need to get busy locally. You know, we put up a column like 6 months ago about how George Soros bought off all of the DA spots in Virginia. Stand up and start doing something. It starts right in your local neighborhood. Stop whining. Stop begging for the president to help you. Because it's the president is one man. This country is our country. We each and every have a sponsor. Each and every one of us has a responsibility to do something about it. And somebody just said, we're not the ones you need to yell at. Stop it. No, because it's not true, Scott. It's really not. There are a good majority of you that understand exactly what I'm saying and agree with me. There are some people who don't agree with me, and that's okay too. I'm fine with that. This is my kind of way, my outlet, how I talk if I need to. But there's also a large majority of folks that are supposed to be, you know, on the right side of things in terms of the future and are giving up right now. Giving up. Now, where I live here, I'm in good hands. Most of my local government's all conservative. They're all Constitution respecting. There's no mandates for us here. You know, I retain a very strong Second Amendment right in this state. I'm surrounded by a bunch of liberals on my block. That's a whole different story. That's a get out the vote issue. But I know who my people, we're good. But there's a lot of places in this country where that's not the case. Go get involved locally. Figure out who's on your city council. Run for city council. Get these people out of there. The ones mandating masks and all this nonsense. Do it. Now, that's that part. I want to do completely unexpected, but hey, I'm here and I'm frustrated like the rest of you guys are. Here, this is a different thing. Someone said, remember when Tracy wanted to march 2 years ago? Yes, I did my march 2 years ago. It was actually 3 years ago now. It was called Operation Justice, a March for Transparency, when we were trying to get the FISA warrant released and the memo unredacted. And then I organized the very first walkaway march on Washington, which was an absolutely resounding success and was fantastic. And I'm thinking of doing another one right now, but I'm just kind of testing the waters and talking to a bunch of folks and figuring out what the best way to go about it is, because it ain't so cut and dry anymore to just do a march. You know, it's not so cut and dry anymore. So I've put my money where my mouth is, at least in terms of that. And you know, another thing too is I'm sure that a lot of you guys do a lot of things in your personal lives too, like you volunteer, or you're helping in your community, or you're on, the school board, or you're doing something to help your, organization in your local area or whatever. And I do a lot of things that I don't talk about publicly because there is just no need to. Someone just said, we're being bullied. What do you do when you're being bullied? You stand up to them. I agree. And I said that today on the podcast too. If your kid was incessantly being picked on by another kid and beat up, what do you tell them to do? Do you tell them to cry and go home and not say anything that could offend them and to be scared of them? Or do you say, stop letting what this guy says bother you? Let it go. If you stop letting them bother you, they lose all power over you. They do. So stop giving them power. That's what we're doing. Why Martha McCallum had that man on Fox is beyond me. At the end, he tries to force her to say that Jesus Christ is black. Why that matters at all is just ridiculous. He tries to force her into it, and then she praises him for his passion and what he's doing. Give me a break, Martha McCallum. Come on, you're praising a Black Lives. The guy just said he made a terroristic threat on television. And you're praising his passion? Ay, ay. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I just wanted to also alert you guys to this article that is up on Uncover DC. An Alabama man nearly died from COVID-19 the first week in January. Husband and wife both tested positive for antibodies. First symptoms emerged in mid-December. Was in the hospital on, here he is right here. This is Tim McCain, who was befallen by COVID along with his wife in December, late December, early January. Went to the doctor. I'm not going to give away read the whole article, but I just want to show you guys that he went and got a chest x-ray on January 1st. Here's sadly a picture of him in the ICU when he was in the ICU. He was released after 24 days. And look at this. Look at these x-rays real quick. I'm just going to make them a little bigger. This x-ray right here on the left was Tim McCain's chest x-ray from January 1st. This x-ray here on the right is 54 hours later. 54 hours. Do you see the difference here in this? They got him to the emergency room. They rushed him to the emergency room. His blood alcohol. His pulse oxygen level. I wish I could drink. I really need one. His pulse ox was 70-something%. He went in. He had ARDS. And then he went on a machine that filtered oxygen into his blood. And this is, again, before COVID was even a thing at all. And he was tested for influenza. The craziest thing is that he had both. He had influenza and COVID. His wife did not have influenza. His children were sick as well, but they tested negative for antibodies. But he and his wife and his boss all tested positive. The machine I'm looking for, it starts with an E. the machine that they put him on to filter out his blood, an ECMO machine, which draws blood out of the body, adds oxygen to it, and then pumps it back in. And this is what some doctors that were coming out after the fact were saying, that more patients should have, done. So this is something else. I mean, this article is really something. It was written by a gentleman named Bill King, and he's going to be working with us at Uncover DC. It's really well done. There was also a doctor, or Bill Rice, I'm sorry. There's also a doctor that came out with a kind of an anonymous list of things to do and not to do in COVID treatment. And there's a sub article that's embedded within here that goes through all of those things and comments how they are parallel to one another. And here is the positive antibody tests. It's interesting because here on these test results, we see that they are positive for the IgG antibodies, but not the IgM antibodies. The antibodies for IgM are when you have the disease more recently. The IgG antibodies are the longer ones, like when you've been sick earlier. And if you remember that day, we spent an afternoon together and I went through all of the CDC results for influenza-like illness in November and December. And we saw that there was a spike in ILI in certain states across the union. So this article, I'm going to put it in the description box below in a second, but it's at Uncover DC, and you can take a look at it and read it because it's really good. I'd love if you could share it with folks that you know because it's a really, really good piece. It really is. I'm kind of proud to have it up there. So I see the fear porn is back today. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's see what else is going on before we go. This is exactly right. Rush Limbaugh. In my view, the way Trump has to stop this is not through sending in the National Guard, which will be undercut by the mayors and governors. He has to restore order through thousands of indictments of the fascist Antifa BLM types. But Trump has to deal with this very carefully. The military staged a quasi-coup when all those generals came out against him. He has to navigate this carefully. He sure does. He sure does. Ooh, Nancy Pelosi says she'll only support a criminal justice reform bill that is worthy of George Kirby's name.
Congressional Black Caucus.
You mean George Floyd?
I'm very proud before the Judiciary Committee that before he testified, he said to me, Madam Speaker, do you think that I can tell George's daughter that his name will be always remembered because you'll name the bill for him? And I said, well, I'll recommend that to the Judiciary Committee and to the Congressional Black Caucus who have shaped the bill. But I only will do that if you tell me that this legislation is worthy of George Kirby's name. And he said it is. And I'm very
proud. George Kirby. Good old George Kirby, guys. I'm done. It's the weekend. Everybody, if you want real news, go to real news sources. Don't go to CNN. I don't believe I even have to say this, but some people still take what they say seriously. No CNN. Fox News is even questionable. Don't go to these places like Politico and all. Just don't go there expecting to find the truth. Please don't. And please tell your friends. And it's time to fight. It's not time to give up. I love all of you guys too much, and I love this country too much. So let's kick some ass for George Kirby. Oh, goodness. If you appreciate what I do and you'd like to become a patron, you can find me on patreon.com/TracyBeans or Subscribestar at subscribestar.com/TracyBeans or at PayPal at paypal.me/TracyBeans, or you can support Uncover DC a media outlet that's trying to do the right thing and grow and compete against these behemoths. And trust me, it is a struggle. I appreciate all of you guys so much. I love you. We're a big team. I just want everybody to stay focused. It's going to be a long several months, very long, if not longer. Just stay focused. We got this. I will talk to you soon.